Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 50 of Bardic Quest, the show where a group of British-trained actors tell fantastical improvised stories through the medium of Dungeons and Dragons. So, a big thank you, as always, to our friends over at Sirenscape, who provide us with the wonderful background ambient sound that features during the show. Do check them out. It's a great little app, actually, and definitely worth investing in if you fancy a little bit of added immersion, audible immersion into your D&D games. So check them out, sirenscape.com, and thank you very much to them for allowing us to use their wonderful sound and effects. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. Last time, our heroes interrogated an orc in the hopes of finding more information on perhaps the whereabouts of Gudrun Rockseeker, Harmon Kost. No, not Harmon Kost, he's dead. The glass stuff.
Good.
Or...
I killed him.
Please tell me he's dead.
Banshee's just him in a wig.
Or, indeed, the Black Spider location of him. But, unfortunately, this orc was working for a orc tribe, just, shaking people down for any of their valuables that they, whenever they encountered anyone. And so Johann made short work of him when they realised that he didn't really provide much use for them at all, beyond...
I killed him.
Please tell me he's dead.
No, I think the Banshee is just going to be him in a wig. They have now ventured further north, headed towards Neverwinter Wood, having discussed potential questions that they might ask Agatha the Banshee, and they have just arrived at what looks like a ruined little village. But distinctly, despite the fact that the surrounding area doesn't seem to be frozen or frosty, and it is now the afternoon, so it wouldn't count as morning frost or anything like that, but the ruins do seem to be covered in thin layers of frost and ice, which is where we pick up now. You are staring towards these ruins that are covered in frost and ice. Is there anything that you'd like to do?
How big are the ruins that are covered in frost and ice?
It's small stone houses. Barely, many of them are just now walls with nothing much left of them. But actually, could you both give me a perception check, please?
Pleasure.
That would be a 10.
Perception, 16.
16. So, Thorik, you do see that the dirt road that you're on, does lead into the market square, and you can see that the road heads straight out the opposite side of the square, the town square, or what was the town square. And just tucked round the side of the building, you can see, actually, the wheels of an upturned cart, and you can just see poking out the legs of a horse.
As in a very stationary horse.
Yes, lying on the floor, this horse.
Hmm.
prone horse.
A prone horse.
I point out said horse and just say, "Be on your guard."
Hilt, hand on hilt.
Johann,
Hmm?
I'm going to walk directly towards it. Scut around the edge and see if you can see anything I don't.
He does so.
Okay, so could you give me a stealth check?
Come on, Johann. Don't trip over a wet cobblestone. That will be a 14.
Okay.
Come on.
So you duck and weave between ruined walls and some of the buildings that remain a little more intact, and you kind of move between them, trying to remain unseen. And Thorik, you're headed straight for it, are you?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be stealthy myself,
Sure.
hoping that I draw attention, but I am keeping a very weather eye.
Okay, sure. So you carefully and vigilantly move towards the upturned cart and the horse, and you don't see anything moving as you're walking across the remains of the square, and you're getting closer to this horse, and you do hear the occasional groan coming from behind the building near the horse.
So presumably I can see it then.
If you're heading and kind of doing like a pincer movement, yeah.
Yeah, because I went to go behind the house.
Sure.
So I can see it.
So
The
as
origin of
you're
the
kind of
gloom.
looking around, you can actually see that the so this is you, Johann. You can see that there's a man kind of sat up, very wounded man, sat up against a wall, or the remains of a wall, and this horse next to him is now dead, and it's got big, massive gash marks down its side, and the contents of the cart are just kind of scattered. It's all things like foodstuffs and things.
I don't make myself known to him yet.
Okay.
I'm going to keep an eye on him while Thorik approaches him, and if he tries anything, then I'll have to kill him.
Thorik will trot. Hearing the groaning, he'll just trot over to the source of it.
Okay. So as you head towards it, you start to see the horse come into view, and you can see the big gashes down the side as well, and you can hear the groaning of the man getting louder and louder.
I stay prepared, but I continue on towards the source of the groaning till I hopefully see this
Okay.
person.
Yeah, so you just kind of come around the corner and you just see this man just slumped against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking pretty like he's probably bleeding out at this point.
Uh-huh. Is he human?
Yes. Yeah,
Cool.
human, sort of middle-aged, greying, getting thinner on top as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I go over and just want to assess, is this something I could maybe... I have a healer's kit, which is more for like stabilizing people, but would it kind of like make him sort of at a point where he's okay, or does he need sort of magical intervention at this stage?
You could possibly stabilize him with a healer's kit, with a... Is it medicine check?
Aye. I have more than...
And are you proficient in a healer's kit?
I am indeed.
Excellent. So then you can add your proficiency bonus to that roll as well.
Marvelous.
Medicine check. That is a 19.
Fantastic. So you you take some time and you start to clean his wounds and really kind of get those wounds back into a state of, non-bleeding, and you eventually stabilize him, and he's very out of it right now.
I take. I just look around in the cart to see if there's any kind of water or even anything a bit stronger, maybe.
Nothing stronger, but there's certainly a container of water in there, a small barrel of water.
I dip out. I just take one of the ladles from my cook's utensils and just kind of like gently feed him some water. And just say, "It's okay. You're fine now. I'm here to help." What happened?
He's, as I say, very out of it, and he just says, it came from the sky.
I come out from behind the house and I look at Thorik.
Stay on your guard, my friend. Dragon?
Aye.
Close?
It's been gone for some time now. I've been here for what feels like a lifetime.
Okay. You're okay. The frost. Do you know what's causing it?
The dragon.
Okay.
I look at the horse, try and assess how big this thing is.
Yeah, you can tell from the gashes on the side of the horse, it's pretty large.
Right.
They are big claws or teeth that made those marks. Could you both give me a nature check, please?
Natural 20.
Fantastic.
Natural 1.
Right, so Johann, your knowledge of magical creatures and things...
Bushcraft.
Well, no, because you've got the Brethren Vigilant, right? And dragons are magical by nature.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I suppose so, yeah.
So it's certainly quite possible that you'd know a little bit about dragons.
It's not our usual quarry, but...
No, of course.
We certainly know something.
Yeah, some information would have been gathered.
Sure.
And you recall reading that for a dragon to be causing frost and ice of this kind certainly implies that you're probably dealing here with a white dragon.
I believe we may be dealing with... Sorry. It always feels weird to just say the same thing. I think we may be dealing with a white dragon.
And
the
that's,
frost,
and
the
that's
size.
bad. Sorry, with my natural 1, I'm just like, that's bad.
And Johann just goes, yeah. I've never killed a dragon before, never encountered a dragon before. I've only heard rumors about how powerful they can get, how big they can get. This won't be easy. Did anything happen before the dragon appeared? Was there anyone... Did you see anyone or speak to anyone before the dragon attacked?
He says, no, I thought I'd brave the journey to Phandelver myself. Not my best decision.
Do you remember where the dragon came from?
He just points up. He doesn't even look, he just points up to the sky. He's still very much out of it.
I don't suppose you know in what direction it went?
No. One of the few things that you do know about white dragons, though, Johann, is that they tend to like lairing in the mountains.
Oh. Which is, at some point, where we're headed. Mind you, we've just come from
You have just come from the foothills of the mountains.
the footy hills, yeah.
Yes.
Ah.
So again, the mountains from where you are, the mountains are south. You've been heading north.
Okay. Well, evidently this dragon is getting more bold with his hunting ground, venturing further and further away from the mountains.
Do these claw marks, or does anything about this scene denote that this looks like it could be the same creature that attacked the cow that came near us?
Do you want to give me an investigation check?
May I do the same?
You can roll with advantage, Isaac, if you're...
Could I give Johann advantage?
Okay.
I feel like he's probably...
Well, to be fair, his knowledge of the white
he's
dragon
probably
is
more
greater than yours.
qualified at this stage.
Yes, that's true. So you can do it with advantage then, Johann, in that case.
I have +6 anyway, so that's 22.
Okay. In answer to your question then, Isaac, yes.
Love it. Love the consistency.
Heavily implied that yes, this is probably the same creature that dropped
How cruel
the
a DM
livestock.
would you have to be in order for there to be 2 dragons roaming about?
Just checking. Just checking. Maybe one of them's a nice dragon.
Maybe they're in a feud.
A lover's tiff.
Yeah, maybe they're engaged.
Maybe they're engaged. Oh dear me. Oh fuck. Right.
Okay, so let's deal with this poor unfortunate chap. By which I mean I'm not going to snap his neck.
So yeah, please don't. It's too much in one day. Does he look like he's stable and not dying?
He's stable at least, yes. Thanks
Okay.
to your healing kit. that you
Horse
use
is very much
dead.
AWOL, yeah.
Yes. An ex-horse.
An X. This is an X horse. But look at the plumage. Terrible. So, if he's all right, Gariel, Sister Gariel, can you stay with him? We're going to take a look around the town.
Of course, yes.
Right.
Yeah, let's have a look in the building, see if we can find anything worth having.
Okay. Could you both give me... could you both give me an investigation check, please?
Indeed. That's 23.
Nah, that's a 2.
Okay. Neither of you find anything interesting.
Oh, come on!
This town has been ruined for some time. Could I actually also ask you both to give me a history check?
Oh.
Is it anything to do with the masonry?
Yes.
Ooh, then I can
Yes.
use my stone cutting feature.
I think you can use stone cunning, yes.
It's a 14 from me.
And it's a 14 from me.
Right, okay. You highly suspect, from what you know of the region, and obviously you have your little map that you've been carrying around since Phandelver, that this is the ruined town of Conyberry.
Okay.
Where's
Which
that
is
map?
also significant to you, Johann, because you know that Conyberry is the town that Saga shared with you is where she was originally from.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Do you know, Thorik? Saga told me about a town like this. if you think that we are in Coneybury, which I presume you do, then this is Saga's hometown.
Really? She never told me.
No, she told me in bed one night.
Thorik narrows his eyes, but chooses not to. Okay. So there's nothing in the town. There's no other clues to do with anything. We go back to the man.
This town has been ruined for well over a decade.
What?
Mm-hmm.
A decade?
More than.
We go back to the man.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you here?
He points to the overturned cart and the foodstuffs. He just says, "Trade."
This town has been ruined for 10 years.
Oh, not with here. I'm on my way to Phandelver.
Why did you come through here, though?
From Tribor.
Does that track? Does that like make sense in terms of?
Absolutely, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
the
it's
Tribor
not
Trail
weird.
is actually a trade road.
Okay. So it's not weird that he's here.
No, not
Cool.
at all.
Cool.
Weird
Okay.
that he chose to come on his own. In fact, borderline. Well, not even borderline. Just stupid.
Great.
Cost of living is going up. Wages.
Yeah,
You know.
a very stupid move. But, you joke in a way, Ollie, but actually that's probably the most accurate. Probably just wanted to avoid having to pay for an escort.
Mm.
It certainly tracks. It doesn't make you think like, oh, that doesn't make sense. I mean, you're on the Tribor Trail, which connects the town of Tribor, which is further to the east, with the Sword Coast.
Well, I recommend that we stabilize this man, perhaps camp here for the night. Despite despite that it's ruined, we can get some decent shelter. Maybe there's even some animals nearby. We can stay here for the night and head off fresh in the morning.
Aye. Does this man look like he could walk after a bit of tending?
Yeah, with a bit of healing or whatever, then yeah, he probably could. Sister Gariel says perhaps in the morning I could escort him to Phandelver.
On your own? Is that
Well-
wise?
Well, I've survived so far.
True, but in the space of 30 feet, there's been an orc bandit party and a dragon.
Well, yes. But I fear that not taking care of this man could result in far worse for him. And we were talking about me returning to Phandelver when we met the road, and well,
True.
here we are.
But perhaps you should stay here until we return, then we can all go back together.
Well, we have food, I suppose. I'm happy to leave that decision in your hands, of course.
What do you think, Thorik?
There is no guarantee that the dragon won't return, of course.
Sister Gariel has proved herself. She's competent and is definitely a stalwart healer. I think if this banshee is as close as you think, hopefully we'll be returning in the same way, but I wouldn't wait more than a day or so. Then start making the journey. We can always catch up to you.
Very
And
well.
and maybe not staying in these particular ruins would be a good idea.
I think I agree.
Very well. We'll set up camp for the night.
Very well. So, you begin setting up camp. It's very cold, so you are going to need a fire to keep yourselves warm tonight, of course.
Our favourite minigame that we're all really good at, looking for firewood.
Oh, yes. So, who wants to gather firewood?
I'll gather the firewood.
All right. Could you give me a D12 check?
Can I give, I don't know, I mean...
Can I have advantage because there's a lot of trees?
Well...
You know, branches fall.
I cast guidance. I don't know if it makes any difference, but I cast guidance.
Sure, you can cast... You
find those trees, Johann.
You can cast guidance. I mean, it's technically a D12 rather than an ability check.
Yeah.
Just to see how much wood is about. But bearing in mind, you are in a frosted region, so there is a bit of damp. So you are looking at a -2 on your roll. But is guidance advantage, or is that an extra D4?
It would usually be an extra D4.
Then we can apply that to the D12. So D12 plus 4 -2 plus D4. Sorry, -2.
D12. It's 10 plus 4 is 14. -2 is 12.
Wonderful. So you have plenty of firewood. Actually,
good.
Plenty of firewood, despite the extreme cold that you're sat in.
I found a tree.
So Sister Gariel helps you to light a fire, which is going to last you the whole night, which is good. Now, I believe that you had a day's supply of water since your last time camping. So that's your water supply now expired.
But we have that small barrel.
You do have the small barrel, that's true. So you top up so you have another day's supply of water with the barrel of water, so that's good. However, food-wise, you are going to need to eat. So I'm presuming you've only got rations to... Well, you've got plenty of food stuff around, actually, haven't you, that you could eat?
Over at the horse.
Well, actually, you've got all of the scattered food stuff that he was going to trade that you could eat. So it's up to you whether or not you want to take some of his scattered food, or if you want to just mark off a couple of days' rations off of your...
We will pay.
He can't take it with him, so it's just going to... Exactly, it will spoil on the ground anyway. And the good thing about the White Dragon is that the cold is actually keeping his food fresh.
That's how you gripe to the DM.
That's fair, I think, actually, Ollie. I think that's fair.
You know?
So it's fresh food, so you could get your day's fill from what is scattered about, if that is what you'd wish to do, of course.
While Johann is doing firewood, I would like to set up a fire and get my, I assume there's enough just to start a fire before he brings back the firewood.
Mm-hmm.
Get my cooking pot over a nice little stick, and using what's there, I will gather some good ingredients to make something tasty, and I will use my best dwarven estimate to pay a generous price for the things that we use.
Yeah, I think probably a gold piece is probably enough, just for the four of you. It's probably going to be enough to cover a day's.
I slip a gold into his pouch and say, I don't think you're going to make it to Phandalin to sell all your wares, but if this does anything to help a little bit cover your costs, we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So,
I'll have something hot for you in a minute.
Okay, do you want to give me a wisdom check then with because you're proficient with cook's utensils, is that right?
I am indeed.
So could you give me a wisdom check plus your proficiency modifier for your cook's utensils, and let's see if you manage to cook up a tasty dish.
It's only a 19.
Only a 19. Okay, great. So you do, with all of the ingredients available to you with this trader's wares, you cook up possibly the most tasty meal that you guys have had for many a day now, as you've been camped out in the wilderness. So for your rest checks in the morning, you're going to have advantage on those rolls.
What are you cooking, Thorik?
What ingredients are there, Wayne? We're adding this to Thorik's cookbook coming 2023.
Well, given that he has a cart full of wares, pretty much whatever ingredients you'd like.
I'm thinking kind of like sort of hearty sausage stew with like loads of vegetables, tomato based, bit of garlic, kind of shakshuka styles, like some eggs just dropped in, like half the dozen's just like cracked and fucked, but he manages to find enough good eggs to like just bake those in, covers it with a lid, they steam through, bit of bread, you know, dip those in. Oh yeah,
Nice.
bit of that.
Nice. That sounds actually amazing.
The Tribor Trail sausage and egg bake.
Oh, yes. Okay, lovely. So, Thorik, you cook up the Tribor Trail sausage and egg. Sausage and egg, what was it?
Bake. Just baked in some way, shape or form.
And then you all settle down for the night, which I think might be an excellent place to end this week's episode.
With full bellies.
With full bellies.
Full.
And I'm going to go and get something to eat after this episode, I think.
Yeah, same.
So, thank you very much, as always, for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, or if you're listening on podcast, to rate and review on your podcatcher of choice. And we shall catch you guys next week.